What's the worst thing you found on someone else's phone? Story 1. A video of my former best friend hooking up with my mom, recorded by my dad. Safe to say, I no longer speak to any of them. Story 2. I'm a librarian, and people often ask for help printing from their phones. Too many times, they've handed me their phone with a browser open to porn. It's happened more than I can count. Story 3. My now husband wearing my lingerie and photos sent to other men. That was a shock. Story 4. Videos of my then husband descending into madness after a traumatic brain injury. The last one showed him covered in vomit, arguing with his reflection, unaware it was him. I don't recommend watching someone you love like that. It's traumatizing. Story 5. A notification on my ex's phone from a guy saying, "Hey, love, how are you?" I panicked, grabbed her phone, and found videos of her with different people, sometimes one per day. We were together for 7 years and engaged. It destroyed me. Story 6. An app on a married man's phone controlling a vibrator my girlfriend was wearing while with me. Story 7. I found a phone and checked the photos. One showed a guy holding his junk next to a mini airplane Coke can. I guess he was trying to trick someone into thinking it was a full-size can for scale. Story 8. A video on my high school boyfriend's phone of him and his friends torturing a group of raccoons in horrific ways. It was one of the cruelest things I've ever seen. I broke up with him immediately. Story 9. A client showed me a haircut photo on his phone. As he scrolled, the next image was him, or I assume it was him, in a bizarre pose with googly eyes stuck on his cheeks, mimicking Marilyn Manson. That day, I learned to wait until clients have their photo ready before looking. Story 10. Messages revealing that my best friend's recently deceased husband had been cheating with men throughout their relationship. We discovered it together as she read over my shoulder. Story 11. My friend logged into Instagram on my phone and forgot to log out. She'd removed me from her close friends list, which I didn't mind at first. She posted a hot photo with a caption, "I'm bored, talk to me," followed by stories of responses. Turns out, 80% of the messages, like, "Hey, gorgeous," or "I missed you," were sent by her to herself. That's when I realized how fake she was. Story 12. Photos of every page of my childhood diary, taken by my ex-boyfriend and sent to my parents. Story 13. In 7th grade, I didn't have a phone because my parents thought it was a sin. I borrowed a kid's phone to Google something, and his browser was open to Pokemon porn, Misty getting it on with a Pokemon. The search bar showed Pokemon porn. I was 15. Story 14. Messages on my mom's phone about her failed suicide attempts and how she hid them from us kids. I didn't say a word and internalized the fear. She succeeded less than a year later. Story 15. Multiple chats on my ex's phone, not just with other women, but explicit, derogatory messages with teens, including plans to meet a 16-year-old boy. He claimed it was my fault because our relationship was failing and he was frustrated. He also had non-consensual photos of me naked and asleep from early in our relationship. I ended it immediately. Story 16. Messages between my wife and her sister revealing my wife is dying. She was too scared to tell me. I waited until she was ready to share before admitting I'd seen the texts. Story 17. After my dad died in a car accident a year and a half ago, I checked his phone. He'd taken photos of the bay where he grew up that morning and had a half-written text to me planning Christmas. It wasn't shocking like a crime, but it was a gut-wrenching glimpse of a life cut short, reminiscing about childhood, planning with his kids, gone in an instant. It breaks me every time I think about it. Story 18. Right after hooking up with my then girlfriend, she texted someone who replied, "So you're done with him? When's he leaving?" It was the guy she was cheating with. Story 19. While working at a movie theater, a customer showed me her digital ticket. She accidentally swiped to a high-definition photo of a private part, possibly hers. All she said was, "Oh wow, how'd that get there?" Haha. Story 20. My tech-illiterate boss often asked me to fix her phone. One day, she needed help with her message settings. I opened her texts and saw one saying, "Stay away from my husband. You're just a fling, and I won't let you ruin our family." I'm not sure if she sent or received it. Either way, it was juicy. Story 21. Before we dated, my girlfriend showed me a Tinder chat with a guy offering to pay to touch and smell her feet. She never met him but teased him for fun. I scrolled down and saw he offered $1,000 to smell her butt. Story 22. A friend called me desperately to witness something at his house, fearing his wife would call the police and accuse him of violence. I heard her screaming, "Don't believe him," in the background. Driving to their cul-de-sac, I could hear yelling before entering. He was upstairs, calling her crazy. She said he was a creep. I assumed he was cheating. Instead, she grabbed his phone and showed me a photo he'd sent to their co-worker's daughter, explicit and disgusting. He yelled, "That's not me." I made sure she could call the police safely. Story 23. After work, I was having beers with a coworker, helping him swipe on Tinder. We came across my wife, now ex-wife. Not a good moment. Story 24. After a night out, my boyfriend left his laptop out for me to watch Netflix. At 5 a.m., a text popped up. Yeah, but now he's dating her. I clicked and found months of messages with his ex, starting before we dated. Every secret and trauma I'd shared, he texted her to mock me, calling me crazy, while telling me to my face he loved me and wanted to marry me. It took years and therapy to trust again. Story 25. I had a bad feeling and checked my boyfriend's phone after 5 years together. He was texting an older foreign woman in Spanish, calling her the most important woman in his life and sending her money, while I worked hard to pay for our apartment. He never learned Spanish to speak with my family.